All right, you guys have a specific story in mind you want to hit, or should we just keep going with the calls?
Let's do
Did you say story we want to hate?
Hit.
Because I like that. Well,
we could also do a story we want to hate.
I hate most of the news these days. Probably I'm not alone in that. But one person who is fun for me to hate is Nancy Pelosi.
Oh, yeah.
She eater of ice cream, deliverer of clapbacks, Nancy Pelosi. I guess recently,
were you going with a full-on Daenerys Targaryen?
I was trying for it. But also I overslept and I'm in a weird mood. So sorry if it didn't hit. But anyway,
I think it hit very well. I wanted you to keep going. Actually,
Nancy
I thought it worked very well.
Consumer of ice cream, bringer of clapbacks. She was in her hometown, San Francisco, wanting to get a haircut. So she went to a salon. She said it was strictly on the up and up, but apparently proper social distancing procedures were not followed by her. And a photo came out of her in the salon not wearing a mask. Do you guys know how the photo got out? I'm not sure. I feel like there's something sketchy about this, and so does Nancy Pelosi.
There it is. I know what happened, and actually, I hate to be the one to do it, but I'm gonna have to defend Nancy Pelosi on this one.
Okay. Well, I'll take the defense of whoever. Oh, damn! What's the guy who always does the sting operations? The James O'Keefe. I'll defend James O'Keefe or whoever the James O'Keefe is in this scenario. This
is a hit job on Nancy Pelosi.
The plot thickens.
The salon rents out seats to independent hairstylists who don't work for the company, like don't work for the business that, runs the rest of the hair salon seats. And apparently the stylist that Nancy Pelosi hired contacts the business and says they're going in to open up to perform services for Nancy Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi is told that this is on the up and up, that they'll be following the COVID procedures that allows them to do this, and there'll be one person inside the one customer inside, and that's fine. And apparently, the salon owner is upset that they can't open their entire salon because obviously they're not an independent person who just has one seat. They have multiple seats, and so they can't have all their customers come in. And they hear this and get very upset. And I believe, from what it looks like, they are the ones with their own security cam footage that leaked this photo, and now apparently they are raising money off of it to try to run a grift.
Okay, so just to rephrase, Nancy Pelosi's hairdresser, who she had a relationship with, rented from some people who used that to entrap Nancy Pelosi.
Yes, and the hairstylist, apparently, I don't think the hairstylist is in on this. They just rent this chair. They brought in Nancy Pelosi to perform services. The owner of the salon knew about Nancy Pelosi going in, said, okay, it was fine for you to do it, but was also upset about it and used that opportunity to take the screenshot from their security cam and use it to hit Nancy Pelosi. Come on, guys. I know we don't like Pelosi too much around here, but if you got permission from someone to enter a business, you would assume that everything was on the up and up, and this business. And if it wasn't, then it's not your fault. You're the customer who has no control over these things.
Oh, well, she could have kept her mask on, I must say. And her defense was some weak shit.
Yeah, let's see it, actually.
I was having my hair washed. Do you wear a mask when you wash your hair? Actually, I managed to go get a haircut the other day, as some people noticed. She washed my hair for me. She cut my hair. I wore my mask the whole time. Not a problem.
Even still, let's consider that this is a rat F, and let's see what her response was when asked about the incident.
I put it. Oh, wait, that's just a question.
And I understand that it was not your first time getting your hair done inside that salon. Can you say how many times?
No, I've been there over the years. I've been there many times. I appreciate the question, and let me just say this: I take responsibility for trusting on the word of a neighborhood salon that I've been to over the years many times, and that when they said, well, we're able to accommodate people one person at a time, and that we can set up that time, I trusted that. As it turns out, it was a setup. So I take responsibility
for trusting.
Okay.
Do you think you owe the service industry an apology? I just spoke to a San Francisco barber who's a fan of yours. He supports you, but he thinks you owe the service industry an apology.
Well, I don't. I think that they owe, that this salon owes me an apology for setting up. But I will say this, in fairness to him and in sympathetic to him, we have to get our country moving again.
I mean, I can't knock her for this one. I mean, we could talk about her response. Maybe she could have been more understanding in the messaging. Okay, but this was a right wing hit, and I'm not gonna, just because I don't like whatever establishment.
Is it a right wing hit? I mean, it's a hit.
I mean, you know who they're raising money off of and what they're doing. I mean,
but I'm just saying, here's what I'll say. That's a salon she's been to many times. Like, this isn't just some random one she did like ad hoc because of coronavirus. She says she's been to that salon many times. Why does that
stylist? I'm sure if that's the stylist.
With that stylist, I mean, yeah, it's independent, but like, I mean, she's been in that building a number of times. I mean, I feel like.
I mean, I don't know if you guys ever went to, when you were kids, you ever went to the hair salon with your moms and they went to like one of those independent stylists who rented a seat. Like, it really is.
That's where I go to one of those right now. My friend Misha.
So you would know it really is like a completely separate business. I mean, they're really not like, it's not just because you go to your stylist in that building doesn't mean you even interact with the other people who are there.
I don't know. She says she trusted that salon. I mean, I think that first of all, I think a lot of these places have a right to be pissed at her just on a policy level because of how the Democrats have handled this pandemic response. And if I was a small business owner, I would be kind of pissed. So like, honestly, I kind of don't fault them for taking the pop because like,
but they're just upset at the wrong people. I just can't get over like the idea that all these small business owners who are upset that they're not making money because they can't run their business aren't taking out on the people who are in charge, the Republican Party, and demanding money. I mean, whatever the Democrats put forward.
Too.
It's the fault of the Democrats as well.
Whatever she puts forward, though, will die in the Senate, though. I mean, it's that simple. I mean, the Republicans are holding back from giving people. I mean, we could say it is the Democrats' fault for not going full board with that first the
CARES Act.
Yeah.
Yes,
Sam has
absolutely
broken down many times the many failures that the Democrats committed in this.
Absolutely, but we could knock them on the past of where they failed all we want. But now we have to deal with where we are. And where we are right now is no matter what Democrats put forward now, it's going to get killed by the Republicans. Okay. So if small business owners want someone to go after, they should be going after the Trump administration and the Republican Party. And I say this as someone who is no fan of the Democrats. I mean, I just dealing with what we're dealing with at this point in time. And to me, right-wing hit from people who are, even if it was not meant to be a right-wing hit, it is certainly being turned into a right-wing hit. This salon.
Have we confirmed the ties of the owner of the salon in all this? Like,
I just know that they're raising money off of this.
Yeah,
what's
her name?
Salons need money.
So they're doing it for money.
I mean, one thing to raise money because you're a business that needs to raise funds.
You know what?
Trying to get your.
Let me be
another thing to.
Let me lay my cards on the table.
Let me be clear.
Like, I want Pelosi to lose to Shahid Buttar in this primary. And on top of that, I think there's any number of reasons she should resign from office just entirely, given like her disastrous, particularly the last 2 years when she's had the House. I do think this is petty BS. It doesn't, to be honest, like, and there was a story of RGB not wearing a mask too. Like, those people should be wearing a mask, particularly because of how, like, I wear a mask because everybody knows. But ultimately, this is not really my big problem with Nancy Pelosi. That said, like, I gotta say, I think she put herself in this position to a certain extent.
Yeah. Pro tip. Okay, first of all, we can hate whatever right-wing forces are trying to use this to make hay out of it politically. We can hate Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats. We can hate the small business tyrants. All right. But if you go to a salon, you're breathing on each other, just wear a mask. I know it's like very neoliberal of me to be focusing on people's individual actions when we really need policy, but people's individual, like, you got to do that too. You got to wear a mask, folks.
Particularly when they're representative and sort of indicative of like, oh, we as a ruling elite don't really. I'm RGB, multiple, survivor of many diseases. I'm not really going to give a f about what it looks like to people when I'm not wearing a mask in public.
Well, we already know that she's a selfish piece of shit. All right, otherwise she would have retired much sooner. Before now we're in this situation where the civil rights of an entire country of people hang on one frail old woman's health. Cool system.
Not to keep going here on this, not to harp on this, and also not to be forever known on this show now as the Nancy Pelosi defender. But in the video, she is wearing the mask under her chin. We don't know. This could have just been a simple moment. She could have just had a drink and she's walking back to the chair. We don't know. Like, this is a particularly, I mean, the photo was taken from a security camera specifically to knock her. She could have been wearing her mask the entire time up until this one moment that was shared, the screenshot was shared of. Mm-hmm. I think we can't really take much from this one small screenshot, and I think it's to me it's just clearly a hit job.
For sure, it's obviously a hit job, but I think her reaction to it is like indicative of Nancy Pelosi's inability to like handle these situations. She should know how to deal with this by now, and like not make it an issue and not make hay of it.
There are no good people in this story. Let's leave it at that. We can agree to disagree. Yeah. I understand Matt B. Nancy is your girl boss, and I respect that.
And I just want to make sure that we don't have a segment that's wholly devoted to defending her, because I think she should defend some of the members for caucus a little bit better. And then when she starts doing that, then I'll defend her against these.
It's still a little fresh in my mind that she would endorse Joe Kennedy in the Massachusetts race. So I'm not really inclined to do her any favors now.
Just to clear my good name as we end this. This is more about being anti-right-wing grifts and dishonest attacks than my love for Nancy Pelosi. Okay. Let's just leave it at that.
Fair enough.
Whatever you say.